Hi there, my name is Stephen Lubakowski, and I am a current student tutor here at Barstow Community College. And today we're going to go ahead and venture on through Canvas and discover some of the little neat tips and tricks that are found within. So after accessing your single sign-on portal, we're going to go ahead and select Canvas, in which it will open up a new tab, which will then bring us to our dashboard. Our dashboard acts as the storefront page of BCC Online. Here I am able to see announcements that are made or assignments that have been completed in regards to certain online classes or certain courses in general, and I am also able to see announcements and services that are provided through the various service departments here on campus, such as the library, special programs and services, and counseling and advising. Through the dashboard, you are able to go further in the time or even back into the past on certain announcements the more you load up or the more you scroll up on the page. The further we scroll down, the further in the future we go, in which we're able to see the due dates, the weight of certain assignments, and of which course the assignments pertain to. So as we can see here, I have quite a bit of assignments that are due this Sunday, June 7th by midnight for both my computer concepts course and my health course. So scrolling through your dashboard gives you a general idea of what you have to get done for each day, and I recommend that you at least scroll at least 1 week in advance, or at least towards that Sunday, in order to figure out what is actually happening. To go into depth on that, we're going to go ahead and focus on our Courses tab located on the left-hand side, beneath this rather handsome portrait of me, if I do say so myself. And once opening this Courses tab, we are able to find that I have 3 courses here, of which one of them is technically a service department here on campus, the Teaching and Learning Support Center, of which where I reside. Now, take note of what I have listed here, as we're going to go ahead and venture on to the All Courses page. Once selecting that, I am found in this page where you can see all of the various service departments and the courses that you are currently enrolled in, as well as some past enrollments, of course. Now, noticing that we had 3 courses showed up on the side here, these courses show up on this tab only because I starred them on this page. If I remove the stars and I refresh the page, you'll notice that now I have a whole mess of several departments and resources that are available to me on campus. It may be a good thing to keep all of these on hand, but in order to free up some of the traffic that is presented here, I'm going to go ahead and star what I feel is important for me in this current time, in which case would be my CBIS course, my Health 2, and my current working department, the Teaching and Learning Support Center. Again, I will go ahead and refresh that, and only those 3 courses will show up here on the Courses tab, freeing up some much needed space. Now, to head into these courses in detail, I will go ahead and start with my Computer Concepts course. Selecting on the course from that tab brings us to the home page of the selected course. As you can see, the course number available up here, the recent announcements that are listed at the front page, a to-do list on the side, some recent feedback, as well as the general syllabus or the general course information listed here, such as the weekly learning modules and general course information. Heading on through announcements, this will take you on to the various announcements that are made by the instructor of the course. That will generally show posted times and dates, but in this specific instance there is none being shown. Here it would be the syllabus of the course, and as you can see it is very detailed and contains some general knowledge and information about the class and what exactly you are going to be doing over the course of the semester. Certain topics, subtopics, general course objectives, etc. And even some expected time schedules, such as 3 hours per week, considering this is a 4-unit class. Those 3 hours alone on lectures. And as well in the syllabus, more than likely you're going to be able to find the contact information for the instructor. Now, to keep things organized, I generally recommend the modules tab here on the side. For the most part, for each course, specifically online courses, they will be structured through modules for each week of the class. So you have Module 1, Module 2, and etc. all the way down to Module 8, in which the summer contains roughly 8 weeks of coursework. Now, as we see here on a constant repetition, there is a discussion, a lab, and a quiz due for this specific course. There may be more depending on the week, there may be less, but in general the work stays consistent from my personal experience. And as well, you also want to keep in mind that there are certain learning objectives and textbook readings that the instructor suggests, as well as some lecture content. As far as those discussions go, such as this Module 1 discussion, what these pertain are general discussion boards, general questions that may be asked by the instructor, or various lists of instructions that one will have to reply here and complete the course assignment. Your quiz grades will show up here, as well as all of your quizzes. Once completed, and if not completed, they will also show up. But in general, if you want to get a good overview of the assignments that are to be completed over time, as well as their due dates, the assignments page is a good place to keep all of that in one concise location. Now, I also want to note that through here, I have already completed my review and submit syllabus quiz that was provided at the beginning of the course. If you are starting an online course here at Barstow Community College, you must complete this syllabus quiz before you have access to the rest of the coursework. Meaning that the first thing that you should do once these classes kick up is complete that syllabus quiz. And usually it's just a couple of agreements on whether you actually read the course content that is contained in the syllabus and that you are aware of what you are getting yourself into. If we head on over to grades, this will give us access towards the general assignment grades as they get graded and as you submit them. Here I have a lab assignment that was recently submitted. It shows the due date of that assignment as well as the title. And this T represents that the score must be provided by the instructor. Here my quiz grade is graded through Canvas, of which I scored a 10 out of 10. Pat on the back for Stephen. Thank you very much. And as well as this little comment here on the discussion, this would generally show you, if you have that page there, or that little notation will show you whether or not you had comments on that assignment or on that grade from the instructor. While this shows you that you are waiting on a grade from that instructor. And also, fun little fact, you can also mess around with the values here and say I got a 0 with that coursework, and oh my goodness, I dropped from a 100% all the way to an F. So if you do have some emergency issues or anything that may impact your coursework, fiddling around with some of this may come in handy rather than whipping out a calculator and figuring out on hand. And to emphasize that syllabus that I mentioned earlier, if we look at my health course and I go to modules, I did not complete, or excuse me, I actually did recently complete the syllabus assignment, so now everything is open. Normally, this would all say it's locked, this whole module, and as well as the rest of the class. And certain modules have prerequisites, such as this one here, having a prerequisite of completing Module 2. So some instructors will let you go in advance of the scheduled coursework. Some will only keep you through a certain time frame. Whatever works best for you may depend on how fast or how quickly you can get such work done and how you can retain that understanding of the assignments. Moving along to our calendar here on the side. This calendar tab will actually pull up a fairly neat representation of what is to be done throughout the month, throughout the day, throughout the week. You can set the parameters up here in the top, as well as you can set the colors of what's going on. So as you can see, my CBIS course is shown in a weird swamp green, I guess, that I'm not really fond of. So I'm going to go ahead and select on the little options tab on the side and change that to a nice red. And fun little fact, if you actually know the HTML color codes of certain colors, you can provide that value here. I just happen to know the value of a nice teal, of which I will provide, and I can find that specific color, which is not noted in the default courses or course colors listed. And it changes that to a really bright teal that does not really reflect well here on this calendar tab. Nonetheless, as you note here on the top right corner, the days that do have due dates, that do have assignments that are being held or that are due at those times, will be boxed on this calendar in the corner, as well as assignments you have completed will be marked out subsequently. So here I have already completed these assignments for my computer concepts course. These are marked off. These were actually due the first day of class. How wonderful, right? Otherwise, if you don't want that course to show up, or maybe you're interested in some of the advice from counseling and advising, we can actually arrange if those show up on our calendar or not. So I can go ahead and select counseling and advising, get rid of that, get rid of fitness and wellness, and some of the other things that I have here, such as the library. Maybe I don't feel that I do not need to have that there, such as the CBIS course. Let's get rid of that. Now I can focus on my health class, my nutrition course. And one last topic before we head off of here is our inbox. So normally, one would access or contact their instructors through their single sign-on portal through Office 365. This is another option. More than likely, once you get a response through Canvas, this will also head over to your Office 365 and vice versa. But if you do have a new message, you will have a little box here that appears with how many messages you haven't read yet. As far as it goes for composing a message, you can do that up here in the corner. Select the course, whatever favorite courses you have, or the additional courses that we did not have starred. For example, my CBIS course, and I could select here on the side or type in the name of my instructor, teachers, Professor Batarsi, and I can go ahead and send him a message through Canvas. I personally recommend that one sends messages through Office 365 through Microsoft Outlook. It seems to be a little more effective with instructors here, or instructors in general, even myself. But if you're in a pinch, sending a message through Canvas works just as well. That's pretty much it for going through Canvas. There's a bunch of other little small things that you can definitely go through and venture on to find by yourself. But as far as general information goes, I believe this covers it, and I hope this suits you well. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. I hope those of you who do watch have a great day. Stay safe.
Hello there, my name is Steven Ludwikowski and I am a student tutor here at Barstow Community College. Today I will be showing you how to access / use your Office 365 as well as your student email address and go through some of the neat little tips and tricks involved with the aforementioned. By finding ourselves at the homepage of Barstow Community College, barstow.edu, you'll go ahead and head on through the Viking login portal and enter in the needed criteria, which includes your student B number and your password for your student account, which will then bring us to the single sign-on portal. Today we will be accessing Office 365, focusing on this, so we will select this shell here at the bottom left, which will then open up a new tab and bring us to Outlook, our Microsoft Outlook page. Now this brings us to our inbox in particular, the inbox to our email address as a student. This inbox is where you will find all of the important messages / information that comes from the institution in general, whether it be from admissions and records, financial aid, or even from other instructors or from other students. One may question, why is it that they need a school affiliated email address in order to receive information from areas such as financial aid or admissions and records? And the answer to that is quite simple, as it is a federal law that protects the privacy of student education records. This law is known as the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, in which requires educational institutions to provide students with affiliated email addresses or inboxes in order to securely send them private information in regards to you as a student. If needs be, or if desired, through Microsoft Outlook, there are a plethora of settings that you can go through to customize your inbox in general, customize the look of it, customize what happens to your messages, etc. And one of the things that I can mention is that you are able to have your messages from your student inbox forwarded to any other email address as sees fit. You're able to do this through the View All Outlook settings, in which I do not believe we will have the time to cover, but as a student I implore you to navigate the settings of your inbox in order to navigate all of your messages in an efficient manner. Again, there are a lot of customizational settings. As you can see, I have certain things that you may not see when you first open up your Microsoft Outlook. Everything can be fitted a certain way as to each individual's preference, which includes being able to quickly delete messages, being able to quickly pin them, or being able to select multiple of them and move them on to certainly new created folders. Now, to go on to a very important detail in regards to educational institution email addresses is that personal email addresses are typically frowned on, meaning that if we find ourselves in need to contact say certain department on campus via email or contact instructors, the best way to do so is to compose a new message here at the top left of the inbox page and use the context here, which opens up a directory that can allow you to search for other students, search for faculty, search for staff, search for instructors, etc., and even certain departments such as admissions and records. So these email addresses are who you will be sending messages to when you are in need to contact them. So once your student account or your student email address is activated, please do disregard the use of your personal email address in relation to sending out new messages. And to get really quick into the certain applications that you are provided with as a student, you can go ahead and select on the app launcher here in the top left corner of the inbox page, which will then bring you to all of the apps that you have access to via Office 365. More importantly, I suggest opening up Office 365, which will bring you to Microsoft Office Home. Through this page, you are then able to install Office 365 apps via your student account. It will then take you through a series of steps, in which will lead to you ultimately downloading the desktop versions of each of these applications, such as Microsoft Outlook, Word, and PowerPoint, onto your computer absolutely for free as long as you are a student here at BCC. I do suggest that each student takes advantage of this, as the subscription normally for a Microsoft Office can be quite expensive at times, and as a student you are allowed this for free, so please do take advantage of it. Otherwise, as you notice, when we do access the applications via this page on Inbox or our Outlook inbox, we are actually able to select them, and which will bring us to the online version. So this is Microsoft Word Online. This is completely different from Microsoft Word for desktop version, or the desktop application, in which they both have a very distinct difference in available features and general availability to the public. So going back to our Microsoft Outlook, that'll most certainly conclude the introduction to all of this. Again, there's so much customization that you can do. There's a lot to take advantage of being a student here at Barstow Community College, and I do recommend that you do what you can in order to personalize your email address, personalize your inbox while you are here, and to get everything squared away before you get bombarded with the amount of class messages, as you can see I have right here. There's a lot to do, there's a lot to look into, but without a doubt it's all very manageable, and it is something that you can customize to a very distinct personal preference. Thank you for watching this video today. My name is Stephen Ludwikowski. Once again, I am a student tutor here at Barstow Community College, and I do hope that you all have a safe day. Thank you.
Hello. In this video, I will be going over how to find academic journals using the Barstow Community College library databases. So you'll start by going into Google and type Barstow Community College Library. You'll click on Library. Rather than accessing the library catalog, the easiest way to find academic journals and academic journal articles is to go straight into the electronic resources. Now, for Barstow Community College Library, you have access to a number of different databases. The one we're going to be looking at is EBSCOhost. When you sign in, you're going to enter your patron ID, which is your B number. That will work for all active students. You have the option to go through many different EBSCO databases. You can select any one of these databases. The one we'll be focusing on today is Academic Search Complete. Now, Academic Search Complete is a multidisciplinary full-text database. So this one, no matter what you're searching for, you'll be able to find material using this database. You also have the option to search all of the EBSCO databases at once. So to find more search results, if you want, you could select all of the databases at once. Now this may slow your search a bit, but you'll probably find more material when you do your search. Now there's many different options to limit your search. We're going to start by doing the search. We're going to do an example using social work, and then later, if we need to, we can change our publication date. Some professors may ask you to limit your publication date to 5 or 7 years based on what they're asking for. It's also a good idea to look for full text material so you're not finding abstracts. Abstracts would be the short versions of an article. So we're going to look specifically for social work using just keywords, because sometimes if you use something very long, you won't find as many materials. And we're going to start our search. So in this case, if you had done a Google search, you would have had millions of results. We start with 404,000, and there's different ways to limit our search. So in this one, we find one that's in Spanish, and it's an academic journal. There's many other search results. These are ways to limit our search, and we could search just for academic journals. We have ones that will list as just journals. We have ones that are news, magazine, and reviews. So we're going to limit it to just academic journals. So if we find one we like, we can go through each one of these and see if there's some one of these we do like or want to use. If you see something that says full text from Eric, those are actually for free materials that can also be found online through Google. Those are educational resources. So we're going to use, let's see. Now you always want to look at the journal names. Now this says Romanian Journal of Multidimensional Education. It just depends on what you're looking for, but you might want to find things that are related to your geographic location, just based on the fact that materials from other geographic locations, their testing material might be different. So we're going to use this one from Medline. This is an academic journal, Social Work, the Power of Case Management's Interprofessional Workforce. So you can click on it, and it'll have the academic journal. In this case, we would have to click on Medline to access it. I do want to point out you can, anytime if there's one of these links you like, you can click on the Cite button, and it will have your MLA and APA citation. So you can copy this. If you were doing APA, copy this and put this into your Word document as a reference. If you were doing MLA, you could do the same thing. There is your work cited. This is the author, the title. Professional case management is the academic journal name, the volume, issue number, and in some cases, the inclusion of this digital object identifier, which is a DOI. So you would copy all of this into your citation. You do not want to copy this material. Even though these are academic journal articles, this is not technically on the web. So you do not copy this. For your MLA, you just want to copy this material and put it into your paper. We're going to go back and look at one of the other articles. You always want to make sure, if possible, that you could find one like this that says full PDF text. So if you click on this, you could click on the article and actually get the full article, which you can either print out or download. Now, many of these are actually start as a print journal that's just been digitized to make it easier for you. So you want to think of these as actually being print materials. They've just been digitized to make it easier for you to access. And each one of these, just depending on where it's from, will have all of the information about who the authors are, the title, and all of the whole article in there. So you could click on this. This is an academic journal, and here's your APA and MLA citation. Now, when you go back and you're looking through the databases, you want to make sure that it does say academic journal. There are a few others that if you hadn't clicked on the individual source type might show up as a review or magazine. So just make sure when you find those articles, they're actually finding academic journals. And there's many different ways to search and limit your searches. If, for instance, you just wanted to do the last few years, you would find less information, but probably more relevant to what you're searching for. So now I've just done the last 10 years. So that shortened how many search results we find, but we're probably going to find things that are more related to what you're looking for. So just keep this in mind when you're using the Barstow Community College Library academic journals. Just looking for academic journals and finding articles related to your search. Now, even though I did social work, you have this ability to add on other words if you wish. So you can add another keyword such as social work and teaching. And so it'll find the keyword of social work and the keyword of teaching together. Now this has really limited our search results, but you might find more materials based on the keywords you're looking for. It's also important to limit to peer-reviewed. Now, many of these academic journals will be peer-reviewed already. You do not have to click that box because that might limit what you're actually finding. Your full text, you always want to make sure you're finding full text materials. So each one of these will be having the title. It'll have all the authors and all the individual information will be here. But you could always click on that cite button to get your individual citation that's necessary for your whatever reference you're writing. And I want to thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to call the main number for the library, which is 760-252-2411, and the extension is 7270. Thank you.